Alright, folks, welcome to Grandmother's house for Carmen. Again, it looks... well, I was about to say it looks fairly normal, but now you can see that there are X's on the doors. Sorry about that cut there. I was saying there are X's on the doors, which means... or is indicative of, marking the trees to be cut. So that's a bit ominous. Head down here to a very, very large basement, I must say. I always like those quick little shadows there, so that just to remind you that you, even though you're a first-person view, you are the actual character. 6 chairs underwater. Perhaps for the 6 sisters? I'm not sure. And you notice that there's a tree there that's been cut. And it has a green tinge to its bark. It almost reminds me of a young tree, or a tree that was cut down before its time. Suggestive moaning, along with the sound of sawing. And we make it up to the top. Axes with the very creepy deer head. And then we end up in the shack. You can see there's the rolled up carpet there. So this does not bode well for poor Carmen. There's saws cutting through the peacock wallpaper. Then we have the hallway of burning wood, recalling the fireplace, or the campfire, I should say. Then we finally get to the bedroom. Large tree impaled through the bed. End of Chapter 5. Items collected, 0 out of 3. Special rooms unlocked, 3 out of 3. Distance traveled, 1158 meters. Wolf encountered? Yes. Success. Rank B. You have found the campsite. Alright. So it looked like we were able to get rid of the slowdown there at the through most of Grandmother's house, so excellent. Okay, so let's briefly talk about Carmen. Most of the sisters' stories, I should say that there's always a few people at least who want to put some kind of sexual connotation on all of the sisters' encounters. There are some people who interpret every chapter as the girl being both violently and sexually assaulted. I'm not really in that school of thought myself. I think each girl has a very unique story, and they don't necessarily have to be sexual. But for Carmen, there really is no getting around it. Not only is she very sensual and flirtatious in her personality, but the trip through Grandmother's house makes it pretty straightforward and explicit. The sound effects and a lot of the imagery. So from a narrative point of view, it seems clear that Carmen wandered out into the woods and met the wolf as the guy with the woodsman, I should say, and started flirting with him and drank a little too much beer and basically got sexually assaulted, and my guess is hacked to pieces because of all that sawing imagery and axe cutting. And probably whatever was left of her was dumped into that shack. So quite a gruesome and violent ending. From an analytical point of view, the Carmen story to me just tells the dangers of being too flirtatious, I think. She was being very, very familiar towards an older man who she didn't know, and out in the middle of the woods, no less. So that's very indicative of a very dangerous situation where one is symbolically very vulnerable, and didn't occur to her to take any precautions. If you want to, you can actually kind of think of Carmen's story as the sexual version of Robin's story. If you recall, Robin's encounter with the wolf had to do with physical danger, and that she had no sense of physical danger in regards to animals or many other things, actually. But it was purely from a don't do this because you might hurt yourself point of view. Whereas Carmen's story is more of be careful of basically other people's intentions. There's an emotional and sexual danger that she did not see, and the wolf took advantage of that. So if Carmen has growing up to do, it'll have to do with her being more cautious, both in the way that she presents herself and in the kind of situation she puts herself in. So that was the end of Carmen's chapter, and for the next chapter we will do the final and oldest sister, Scarlet.